handle the truth.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Thursday Night Get Right. I pray that everybody is safe and sound in their home, comfortable, ready for another great episode, man. As I said in the chat, Demetrius will not be joining us tonight. He is working, so I'd rather him work on, focus on work versus, trying to make it for the show. Life goes on, and the show rolls on. So welcome, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. First, many blessings to those who have been inflicted with addiction, homelessness, incarceration. You're out here, you're trying to make it. Many prayers and blessings goes to you guys. I understand the struggle. And that's what a lot of tonight's show is going to be about. Is it about, accountability? Accountability has come up a lot in the past week or so, and a lot of the conversations that I've been having with, public officials. And as a returning citizen, we're always going to be judged for our thought process, which I can honestly agree with. I should be judged for my thought process because my thought process has been proven to be flawed in some aspect to where it didn't get along with the social norm. So we're going to get into a lot of that. Going to get into accountability, but before we do that, I just want to show a video. I like to show a couple of my videos from TikTok. So one thing about Thomas Freeme, and I guess what spawned this show is tonight's show is I'm very, very hard on government officials. No question. Because I have been held accountable a lot in my life, from a lot of officials that I knew shouldn't have been the one speaking on accountability. Demetrius, what's going on? You want to come in, partner? Can you come in? Or are you working? You're just chiming in. So, and that's exactly right. Like Demetrius said, no one wants to be held accountable, but they want to hold us accountable. And that is a rough sword for us to swallow, knowing that what we've had to go through in our life, and we see other people doing things far worse than what we know that we've done, but yet they're not being held accountable. So accountability is a very, very hard pill to swallow. So hopefully I can assist. I can be the water tonight. That's what like Bruce Lee says, my ultimate master, just be like water. So hopefully I can be a nice long glass of water for that accountability pill tonight. It's very important to be accountable. Without accountability, you won't grow. We cannot grow unless we truly understand the errors of our ways and our thought process. For the longest, I was committing a lot of crimes, and the reason why I was committing these crimes is because I was not taking accountability for myself, and I was blaming other people, and I was using other circumstances and other people to justify why I was committing crime. Some may say that crime may have been justifiable to the circumstances. Some may say that it's not. It's all a matter of perception, but it all boils down to self. If you've watched my show long enough, you understand that I am very, very big on self. Everything spawns from self, and this is my wholehearted message. My overall rounded, all-encompassing message is everything spawns from self. So I'm going to give a detailed account of what that means, my beliefs, my accountability, so that it is on record that when I speak on other officials, I'm speaking from a land of accountability. So before we get into that, as I was saying earlier, I can be very rough on these government officials, no question, but I can be equally rough on us in the community as well. And like I told Demetrius last week, I really want to kind of get into some of us and how and what we do in the community to spawn toxicity and bring toxicity into our life. So this first video, let me see which one I got going on here. Right. Okay. You guys just sit back and watch this here now, and then I'll give you my opinion afterwards.
Party throwing cases of taxpayer-funded food right into the dumpster.
Hold on, let me start it over for
We
you.
have you, sir, on hidden camera throwing food in a dumpster. Why would you do that?
That's what we wanted to know. Our hidden cameras caught employees with the LA Homeless Services Authority throwing cases of taxpayer-funded food right into the dumpster. Food that's supposed to go to the homeless, now going in the trash. You can see it here just come pouring out of the box. And not just once or twice.
We saw it continuously inside the dumpster, boxes of food with fresh sandwiches for the homeless inside.
It's a sandwich, an apple, and water.
We saw food thrown away almost every day, all unopened packages labeled Eat Good Food. But despite the tens of thousands of homeless going hungry on the streets of LA, no one got to eat this food because we saw LAHSA employees like this woman just throw it in the trash.
We saw you dump boxes of food out into the dumpster.
I'm not going to answer any questions.
It's appalling what I see on that video.
Jay Handel chairs the Homeless Committee.
Theft of taxpayer dollars. These people are being paid to go out and service and take care of people. So not only are they stealing their pay, but they're throwing away good, valuable food for people who have nothing to eat.
Picking up food. For months, we watched LAHSA employees picking up cases of food to give out to those less fortunate. These are outreach workers. They're supposed to spend their days interacting with the thousands of homeless in LA. The aim, according to LAHSA administrators, is for them to use the food as an opportunity to build trust in the hopes of convincing them to accept government services and housing and get them off your streets.
Empty box too.
At the end of the day, we saw many workers folding up empty boxes after presumably handing out all the food.
There's one.
Others we followed picked up food, then went to breakfast. Through the window, you can see these two eating. Now, meal breaks are allowed, but after breakfast, they just drove around for hours. They did stop twice to give out meals, then took a break and walked around Balboa Park for some exercise for another hour.
He's taking the whole box.
Toward the end of their shift, they just gave away all the food at a homeless encampment in Panorama City. Well, at least this food went to good use.
There you go, I got a shot.
Other teams we saw also picked up food, then went to breakfast.
There she is.
Afterward, this team then stopped at Target, Starbucks, McDonald's, sometimes driving, passing dozens of homeless along the way. And instead of folding up empty boxes, we saw this LAHSA employee throwing a case full of food in the dumpster behind their office in Panorama City. We saw another team just take the boxes out of their car, walk into the room with the dumpsters, and throw a box filled with food right in the trash. They could have given it to these people who we saw living on the street just a block away.
David Goldstein with CBS 2 News. Why are you throwing food out that's supposed to go to the homeless?
We caught up to them to find out why.
Why would you throw food out that's supposed to go to the homeless? We have you on hidden camera.
On us.
You.
On me.
You want to see the video?
Yeah, please.
Sure.
He said his name is Chris. We showed him the video of him throwing the food in the dumpster.
That's you.
Yeah.
Throwing
I'm
it
not
out.
denying that's me.
He claimed he wasn't allowed to talk with the media.
You're throwing the food out in a dumpster. Why?
I wish I could answer that.
LAHSA, which this fiscal year received $800 million.
Accountability. So let's start with Chris. And I'm guilty of this. I'm so guilty of this. And it just as of recent, I'm guilty of this. you know, and a lot of us are, especially in relationships, things of that nature, is honesty and accountability in that fashion. Now, so Chris first denied it. When he was asked about it, he first denied it to the point to where, yeah, show me the video. I don't, you know, whatever, show me the video. And then once he knew that he was caught red-handed, then it's, oh yeah, I can't deny it, it was me. But you knew it was you from the start, right? So accountability, it does not come in the back end once you've been caught. You can't get caught and then say, yeah, I'm taking accountability for what I've done, because once you've already been caught. And even in the relationship sense, right? It's coming forward after you've been caught. The person has to find out the things for you to finally admit the truth. And that's not honesty. That's being painted in a corner to be honest, painted in a corner to be accountable, and then it almost becomes an ego thing, right? So starting with Chris, man, that whole video is just horrible. And this goes into so many different aspects of what I talk about on so many different levels. When we talk about these nonprofits that get so much money and do absolutely nothing, there's no accountability within a nonprofit, which is something that I, as a nonprofit founder, have to make sure that it's my job to make sure that I'm bringing people on my team that is genuine, that would not do things like this, that actually know that there are homeless and hungry people out there that could use that food. I mean, that is horrible. That's the most selfish thing that you could do. And again, at some point, accountability is going to hit these people. This is what I'm talking about. This is where accountability becomes so important, because we're talking about cause and effect. Cause and effect. So with me, it's understanding that my decisions have an effect to them. And I can't get away with things. You know, I used to think that I could get away with things because nobody was watching. And you know, it's funny enough, because I sat down with the captain of the sheriff's office today in a particular county, and the lead in reentry, the top dog in the reentry division, both for a particular county. It was an intimate setting. Sat down for brunch, and we just had a conversation, sort of get to know you type, feel each other out. And for me, I know that it's these officials wanting to gauge my thought process, you know, my accountability. But within that, I shared a story about this particular time where I was in a gas station, right? And while I'm in this gas station, I'm filling up, and this is in the start of me building this nonprofit and me leaving a toxic relationship, walking everything, you know, leaving everything behind that was accumulated in that relationship, ultimately making a decision that I either have to walk away from everything or go back to prison. That was pretty much the fork in the road. And of course, I through the life that I've been in, I chose to walk away from everything versus going back to prison. So within that was very, very hard times. I was very hard for money. And this one particular day, I'm at this gas station and I'm at this pump, and I'm pumping, you know, the $5 or $10 that I got in gas into my car, and I'm looking over, and directly across from me is this guy in a slightly older Cadillac, but his windows are down, and he's in the front seat, and he's got this big old Kool-Aid smile on his face as he's sitting there just counting out these bills. Bum, bum, bum. Had to be, I mean, I know wads, and it had to be anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000 that he had in his hand that he's sitting there counting out. And I'm just watching him. And he takes it and puts it in his center console, closes it, gets out of the car, and goes inside. Windows open, Don't lock the car, just goes inside. And I'm sitting there like, dang. Boy, let me tell you, God, why you do this to me? Why you do this to me, God? You know I'm hungry. You know I ain't got no gas. You know it. Why you doing this to me? What came to my mind was, I don't want that kind of problem. I know what that problem brings. I've been there. I've went in there and taken the money several times. This is what I've done. I know what it brings. When I reach in there and take that money is not mine. So knowing that I'm committing an atrocious act to another human being, it's going to cause emotion within me. I'm going to get excited, right? I'm going to be nervous. I don't want to get caught. All of this bad negative energy of what I'm doing is being transferred into that money that I'm now taking and putting in my pocket. And that energy is going to stay in that money. Every little dollar that's in that money has negative, bad karma in it. And then, mind you, remember now, that man's DNA is still on this money. And it's a scientific fact. It's been proven that if you take DNA and you could separate it 5,000 miles, and that DNA is still going to register what this other DNA is doing. It's all connected, whether you believe it or not. Whether you believe it or not, it's all connected. Case study in California. I had a man's blood over here, a man's blood over here on the East Coast. The man was over on the West Coast. They were showing him all kinds of different stimulating videos that would make him high and low. And the blood that was over here on the East Coast was registering his emotions on the West Coast. It's all connected, people. And I know this, and I live my life by it now. So it's understanding that this man's DNA is still in this money. His skin, his flakes, his DNA is on that money. And when he realizes that money is gone, he is going to put negative energy into that money as well. That money is now cursed. It's going to cause so much drama in my life. Just that wad that I took. Who knows where my decision making goes from that point? Because I know that it's bad money. This is what when I started thinking like that, I would take myself back to my drug dealing days and just think about all the chaos that was in my life. And it all spawned from my bad decision making. So I had to start holding my thought process accountable because I don't want drama in my life no more. I'm tired of sleeping on a steel bunk. I've upgraded. I'm on an air mattress now. And I tell people there ain't no shame in my game about it because that air mattress is one of the most comfortable air mattresses that I've slept on in a long time. This is what we don't get. This is what we don't get. We get used to and comforted by these luxuries that can be taken away from us at any time. And I don't want to get back into that comfort, knowing that these people can come take it from me at any time. I want to stay rough and rugged. Rough and rugged. So when it comes to the accountability, Chris, right, you knew what you were doing was a scumbag thing. This is why he wanted to deny it to begin with, because he knew what he was doing was a scumbag thing. It's a horrible thing. It's selfish, it's egoic, and that's what America has become, that you would work for a nonprofit to hand out food to the homeless, and yet you still would rather just throw the food away to make it look like you've done your job so you can sit around and do nothing. And then we get mad when police officers abuse these people in some kind of way, rough them up a little bit or anything of that nature. And I don't, because listen, I'm for public caning. That's what we need to get into. I see it going on in other countries, and I tell you what, their crime rates are dang near zero. Okay? Let you do something like this out here in public, and let And this is what I'm talking about, the community rising up. Let the community pull out about 20 canes and go to beating these people as they're throwing away homeless people food. Just go to beating them right on the street. And I bet you, I promise you, they will never throw away no food again. I bet you. They ain't got to go to prison. They don't have to be killed. You just cane the shit out of them. Pardon my language. Where do they get the food from? That food comes from the taxpayer, Pops. That is a nonprofit, just like me, that receives donations from taxpayers to get this food and pass it out to people that are on the street to eat. And they hire those individuals. These nonprofits get this money and they put these people on a payroll and they hire them to go out and distribute this community work. And this is what they do. This is what they do. So let me get into the next video. Right? Let me get into the next video and show you some more of how we can be in the community and how we have to start holding ourselves accountable. Here we go.
And I don't appreciate your smart remark about me having a meeting.
What happened? Hold on. I did something.
At 7 o'clock, which I'm going to be late because of you. You showed up late.
Sorry about that, okay? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make you as comfortable as possible here.
Well, you're doing a bad job at it, let me tell you. Here's the left right here that you have to take to Union.
I'm taking it. We're going West 22 Union and Hillside, ma'am.
Are you giving me an attitude, sir?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
All I have to do is report you to Uber, and so be it. You will be kicked off of this app, okay? Let me tell you, I've gotten other people kicked off.
Okay.
You men are all the fucking same.
Are we?
Got smart remarks for everything.
Well, I'm just trying to get you to destination, man. Don't.
Yeah, well, maybe if
don't hurt the driver.
If your vehicle was a little bit more up to par, I'd say people would enjoy the ride more comfortably.
Well, when people have to spend thousands of dollars on car repairs and living in a state with potholes,
I don't give a shit.
I'm just saying.
Don't cry me a fucking river now. Come on.
Well, I'm just saying, ma'am, okay? There's a lot of potholes here. They cause a lot of damage to your car. Says we'll be there in 14 minutes.
Thank God. The quicker I am out of here, the better for you and me both. Do you know what the speed limit is here, sir?
Yes, it's 45.
So then why are you going 50?
I'm going 45.
You're going 49.
45.
I'm just letting you know, I don't like that. I don't like that.
I'm going 45.
I'm surprised you have 400 stars over here on this app. Wonder where the hell those stars came from. You're gonna be getting that from me.
Well, ma'am, I'll make sure that Uber knows that you are not happy with their services.
No, I'm not. I just, from getting in the vehicle with my squashed knees, and you don't have a bad knee too, right?
I did not know that.
That's why I'm complaining, because my knee is hurting.
Well, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't know your life until you get inside this vehicle.
I'm not trying to tell you my life, okay?
But you told me your knee was hurting.
Yeah, that's why I was pissed that this freaking seat is leaning on my knee. You have to have consideration for passengers when they get in your car. And you don't question them where they're going.
I said, were you going to Union because of the address?
You said, why am I having a meeting at 7 o'clock, which is none of your concern. None.
I've never heard of a meeting after 7 p.m.
Do me a favor. Pull the fuck over next place. I don't want you taking me anywhere. I want another Uber driver. Now!
Ma'am, I have to take you to the destination. I'm sorry.
I told you to pull the fuck over.
Are you going to calm down?
I suggest you get over on your right side and go.
Hold on. Don't scream too much, all right? Just chill out. There's nowhere to stop you at right now unless you want to stop in the middle of the freeway.
Hey, yo, you
Look, look. There's nowhere to stop. Okay, I'll pull you over. Just wait. If you're gonna calm down, I'll take you to your destination.
Just don't talk no more. Because all you're doing is running that lip of yours. And don't nobody want to hear what you got to say.
You want to drop off or you want to keep going to the destination?
Drop me off at ShopRite.
Okay.
And I don't appreciate your smart remark about me having a meeting at 7 o'clock, which I'm going to be...
Why can't I ever get any passengers like that? Man, I would have so much fun with that lady. Man, I would have so much fun with that lady, man. My goodness. But accountability. This really shows a lot of stress that's out in what we deal with every day as American citizens, particularly as Uber drivers, because a lot of impoverished people are taking Ubers. You know, a lot of people that don't have licenses, maybe for whatever reason, they have to take an Uber every day. And that's very, very stressful. Me as an Uber driver, I've had to take people like, not so much like this, but people who are very, very frustrated because they're working at Amazon and they don't have a car, they don't have a license, they have to take an Uber every day to the Amazon facility, and by the time they get their check, most of it goes to Uber. Uber is making all the money off this. I think that the Uber driver was a little antagonistic. Again, this is something that he don't know how to deal with, obviously. And he's just a normal American citizen himself, just trying to make a couple bucks, trying to pay his bills, trying to keep his sanity. So the accountability, people, like, we have to be better in our community. We want to holler about what's going on in the government. We want to holler about this President Biden. We want to holler about police corruption. We want to holler about all of these things. But yet, what are you doing? What are you doing personally to bring drama, not only into your community, but into your household? How accountable are you? It's very easy to hold other people accountable and want to point and blame and all of these things. But just know that 99% of what it is that you're doing is self-projection. A lot of this woman, what she was saying was she was showing self-projection. Her life is miserable. She's upset. She hates men, obviously. She has a very, very severe issue with men. And I can understand why. Because God knows I've had a woman like that. And Jesus, let me leave it at that. Because God says, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And I'm just going to keep it pushing. Accountability. You have to know that you're miserable. I'm fine with people venting with me. If I was in this car and she was venting with me, I would have handled it, completely different. And I would have made her feel like a piece of crap. I honestly would, because I'm good at that. I'm good at role reversal, putting it back on you. You know what I mean? Like, dang, lady, listen how you talk about men, but listen how you're treating me, and I haven't done nothing to you. You know what I mean? I haven't done anything to you, and like, whatever you got going on is your problem. There's no reason for you to be talking to me this way. But you really got some serious issues going on. And of course that's going to infuriate her because the truth hurts. But at the end of the day, she's going to leave that car knowing that she got some real issues. But when it comes to us in the community, we have to be better people. We have to be stronger, and we have to hold ourselves accountable for our attitudes. Most of my life, I spent getting in the jail, sitting in the jail, going through booking, processing, and then fully realizing what I've just done, whatever it was at that time for me to go to jail. I would do it and then I would think about it. And that is a lot of how we act today. We do and then we think. And it wasn't until I flipped that script and now I think and then do did my whole life change. My whole life changed. So if you want to get away from the situation that you're in, you may be out there listening and you may be saying, I'm just tired of the toxicity around me. I'm tired of everything failing around me. I'm tired of miserable people being around me. It all spawns from you. It starts with you. Everything that you hate that's around you is because you put it there. It is a result of your thought process. If you think negative, you're going to attract negative. And you're going to have negative people around you because that is what life is. Life is a reflection of you. That is what self-projection is. You see yourself in life. Life is a reflection of you. So if you do not like what you see, change it. But it's not you changing out here, is you changing in here where the film is at. This is just the projector. These are the lens. The life is the screen. But the movie is here. The content is here. And it's coming from here to out to here onto the screen. If you want your life to change, hold your thought process accountable. Change your thought process and the people will just magically disappear. All of these things that you hate around you will just dissipate and they will be replaced with your new thought pattern. That is how it works. That's how it works. And once I witnessed that with my own eyes and my own being, that is how I operate now, because I understand that that is how life works. None of this stuff matters. All it is a movie screen. Shakespeare told us that. People from history have continuously told us that life is a play. Life is a play. We're just actors on a stage. You have to really, truly understand the depth and what that means. Everything is being played out in front of us for us to learn from. And if we're constantly distracted with these menial things, these material things, you're missing the movie. You're missing the movie. And it's not until you get to the end, man. You know, it's not until the credits start rolling do you realize, like, do I want to be the person that understood the movie, or do I want to be the person talking about, what happened? What I miss? The movie's over already. What happened? That's how it was the first half of my life. I didn't know what the hell happened. Didn't know what was going on. Movie going on, movies playing, and I'm asking everybody, what the hell is going on? People shushing me, telling me to get the hell out of the theater. I ain't got a clue. That's what they did, man. People kicked me out of the theater, put me in the dungeon. I didn't want to be in the dungeon no more. I wanted to be the star player. That's who I wanted to be ever since I was a kid. I always wanted to be the star player. So it was just understanding how to do that, how to work that, how to get that moving for me, instead of me chasing it, trying to be that, just become that and allow everything to encompass that. And then I will be that star player. And that's who Thomas Freeme is now. Thomas Freeme is that star player. So Am I accountable? You're damn right I'm accountable. I'm the catalyst. I started it all. Every negative aspect of my life was my fault. It was my thought process. I thought I could get away with things. I tried to manipulate things. I tried to lie about things. It was all out of my want. But that does not affect what's going on as far as choices now. The past is only for experience. It's over with. It's nothing to dwell on. It's just there like a book to read. That's it. It's just to reflect on so that when you know what's coming down the road here, you can reflect here and know that there's a good probability that this is going to result in the same. So let me just take a different path. But without that reflection, you're not going to know, and you're just going to keep going down the same path because it's familiar. And we're creatures of habit. We like familiar things. So we're just going to keep going down that same path until we get tired of it. And then we're going to then look for another path. Reflection is key. And that's all the past is for. It's all the past is for. It doesn't define who you are now. It does not define who you will become. It just only is there to show you what you can remain if you live in your past. So with that, be accountable, man. Hold yourself accountable. You don't have to tell on yourself. You don't have to be a rat, a snitch, none of these things to hold yourself accountable. Just hold yourself accountable. When you know you're doing wrong, be the big enough person to say, I'm doing wrong and I need to change it. Because if not, bad energy is coming your way. And then when the bad energy comes your way, you cannot blame nobody but yourself. Can't blame nobody but yourself. So, peace be unto you, my brothers and sisters. Stay safe, stay blessed. Thank you for all my listeners. Make sure that you hit the like and subscribe for me. Please keep the thing going. Keep the train rolling. Keep the snowball snowing. Keep it going. Make sure you spread the word of the Thomas Freeme TV and podcast show, Thursday Night Get Right with Mr. Thomas Freeme and Mr. Demetrius Knuckles-Eel. Hopefully we'll have him back on next Thursday night. Thank you for all the sponsors. Thank you for all the subscribers. Everybody that like Warren Buffett says, man, you know, it's on the shoulders of giants. I could not do it without you guys. I know that I'm standing on the shoulders of many giants who believe in me and who are lifting me up, helping me achieve my dreams of reaching as many people as I can, helping as many people as I can. Thank you to 88.5 for allowing me to bless your airwaves with my podcast. For all my audio listeners, please visit www.thethomasfreemeshow.com to find all my platforms to listen to, catch the video on YouTube, Spotify. And once again, thank you guys. Just stay safe in the neighborhood, stay blessed, and let's do what we can to be our best selves and unite, come together. And as I say every week, just do something that this nation has never done before, and that's just unite. All for one, one for all. Peace be unto you. Have a blessed night.